All right, fourth grade. Now what we're going to do is talk about strategies. I'm going to share a variety of strategies with you that you can use when you practice ordering fractions. And while you're watching, I want you to think about how you can use these strategies to put fractions and maybe even mixed numbers in order. So, the first thing we're going to think about, same denominator. If my denominator is the same, what does that mean? Well, it means that my pieces are the same size. So if I want to put fractions in order, we'll say from least to greatest. If all my pieces are the same size, if I only have one of them, then it would be the smallest. 2 would be the next smallest, and 4 would be the largest. If the pieces are the same size, you can just put the numerator in order. What if my numerator is the same? Here my denominators are different, but my numerators are all 4, which means I have 4 pieces that are the size of 1/6, and 4 pieces that are the size of 1/4, and 4 pieces that are the size of 1/2. Well, which of those pieces would be biggest? Halves would be biggest. Think about it like a pizza. If I cut a pizza in half, the 2 slices would be bigger than if I cut a pizza into 6, and the whole pizza was broken into 6 smaller pieces. So the bigger the denominator, the smaller the pieces. If I keep cutting that pizza into smaller and smaller and smaller pieces, I would have more of them. The denominator would be bigger. So when I want to use, when I have 2 fractions or 3 fractions where the numerator is the same, I need to think about the size of the pieces. All right, so another strategy we have, we used when we were starting to think about fractions, when we can think about benchmarks. Here I have a number line again, 0, 1 whole, and 2. So when I'm thinking about fractions, I can think about that fraction in relation to 1 whole or 2, or even is it close to 0. But I can also even think about my halves and my 1.5. I know 1.5 would be right in the middle of 1 and 2, and 1/2 is right in the middle of 0 and 1. So my first fraction here is 5/6. 5/6, which of my benchmarks would it be closer to? Is it less than 1? Greater than 1? Is it closer to 1/2? I know that 5/6 is only 1/6 away from 1 whole. 6/6 would be 1 whole. So I know 5/6 would be close to 1. Now I have 1/10. So 1/10, just a little fraction, right? Just 1 out of 10 pieces. So I know that would be closer to 0. 7/4. 7/4 is an improper fraction. It's greater than 1 whole. 4/4 is 1 whole. I know that it's 1 whole and 3 more fourths. 7/4 altogether. So that's even bigger than 1 and 1/2, but not yet quite 2. All right, now finally I have 3/8. Now I know that 3/8 is less than 4/8, and 4/8 is the same as 1/2. Again, those equivalent fractions coming in to help. 1/2 is equal to 4/8, so 3/8 would go before 1/2. All right, finally, sometimes you'll have fractions that seem like they could be very close together. They're only 1 piece away from 1 whole. And so when we're thinking about that 1 piece away, we need to think about the size of that piece. How close is that fraction to getting to 1 whole? For example, if I have 11/12, I'm only 1/12 away. If I have 7/8, I'm only 1/8 away from 1 whole. If I have 1/2, I'm only 1/2 away from 1 whole. But 1/12 is such a smaller piece compared to 1/2. 1/12 means that those 11/12 are just that little piece away from 1 whole, when 1/2 is a bigger piece away from 1 whole. So 11/12 would be bigger, and even bigger than 7/8. Because if I'm thinking about my distance to the whole, that missing piece, the 1/8 would be a little bit bigger than that missing piece of the 12th. So 11 twelfths would be biggest, and then 7/8, and then 1/2.